Recce units are intended for ensuring that drivers comply with traffic regulations whilst driving reconnaissance drives of the special stage routes before the rally. During the recce, drivers must not endanger or cause annoyance to local residents, otherwise this could lead to future rallies being banned in these areas. Recording of routes for special stages is carried out in order to run through the routes that will later be used during the preparation of rally projects. The NCL21 tracker device is used for the purpose of monitoring recce, and using this device it is simple to control the speed of the drivers on chosen routes. In order to be able to monitor speeds using the NCL21 tracker, it is necessary to first create a project and add routes to this project. Once routes have been created in the project, it is possible to set and control speed limits. Recce units are intended for ensuring that drivers comply with traffic regulations whilst driving reconnaissance drives of the special stage routes before the rally. During the recce, drivers must not endanger or cause annoyance to local residents, otherwise this could lead to future rallies being banned in these areas. Although the organiser uses the units firstly for the recce, they can then also be used during the rally for monitoring organiser vehicles, ambulances, recovery vehicles, police and other vehicles or people. Knowing the position of organiser vehicles helps to improve the organisation of the rally. The battery in the recce unit will last throughout both the reconnaissance phase and the rally itself, before needing to be recharged again. The units are distributed in cases and in the amounts ordered by the organiser. These units can also be used for other types of races, such as bike races, boat races, dog sled races, etc. Distribution and collection of recce units can be managed entirely by the organiser. This is because there's no need to explain any usage instructions to the crews and no installation or programming necessary. If any of the competitors do not return recce units before the start of the race, this will not be an issue, as separate race units are used for monitoring the race itself. The NCL21 recce unit works wherever it is placed in the car, under the seat, in the boot or on the dashboard. Firstly, it is necessary to drive the routes of all the special stages that the rally will cover with a tracking unit. Recording of the routes is done using a special record tracking device. Recording of the routes can be carried out in a private vehicle. The antenna of the unit must always be placed on the roof of the vehicle in order to have a clear view of the sky. The unit is a plug-and-play device powered from the vehicle's 12-volt socket. After connecting the unit to the power supply, wait for the GPS position to be captured. This is signalled by the green LED flashing on the unit. Once the GPS location is captured, it is possible to go to the start of the special stage. At the start of the special stage, we switch the red switch to position 1 and the red LED will light. It is best to run the route at a low speed in order to get the best possible recording of the route. After the flying finish of the special stage, we switch the red switch to the 0 position to finish the special stage route recording. We can then continue to the start of the next special stage, where we repeat this procedure. If it is necessary to enforce different speed limits for reconnaissance of the special stage, switch the red switch to position 1 after arriving at the start of the special stage and the red LED will light up. At the point where you want to change the speed limit, set the black switch to position 1 and a long beep will sound. At the position where a new speed limit needs to be fixed, set the switch to position 0 and a short beep sounds. Repeat this procedure for each section of the special stage route where speed restrictions are to be imposed. Log in to onisystem.net, click on the Controlling Login option, and then enter the requested login data. Go to the Administrator tab, which is on the top toolbar, and then click on Controlling in the drop-down menu. First of all, we have to create a project for the recce. Go to the Project tab and then click on the icon for adding a new project. Now fill in the name of the project and the date and time when the rally will take place. For reconnaissance monitored by NCL21 units, the radii have no meaning, so they do not need to be set. It is necessary to add the vehicles participating in the rally into the newly created project. This can be done in two ways. The first way is by clicking directly on the asset in the right-hand side column of the map background. Now click on the Project tab and then click on the Add icon. Here we select the desired project from the drop-down menu and then we give the asset a name. Usually this is either the vehicle number or the name of the driver. It is possible to include additional information in the description. Click the Add button to add the asset to the project. The second way is to add assets by creating an Excel file listing all of the assets that should be entered into the rally. The first column shows the name of the asset, the second column the ID of the asset, and the third column the description of the asset. This is then saved as a CSV file. The chosen assets are then imported by going to the Projects tab and then to the Import tab under the selected project. Then search for the CSV file that we've just created. The next step is to click the Send button. All assets that have been added can be checked under the Assets tab. The last step is to go to the Selection tab and set the project. After the project has been set up, only the assets that we have added are displayed in the right-hand column. Now it is necessary to find and assign routes. To do this, go to the Assets tab again. In our case, we have used a record unit. We must look for this unit and then select it. The routes recorded and to be set in the project are found under the Trips tab. Individual routes are divided into special stages and transfer or liaison. Special stages are shown as business trips and transfers are shown as private trips. There are time gaps between each individual special stage, i.e. the times of two stages cannot overlap. Routes are saved in the project by using the Add button. Select the project where you want to assign the route, and now the special stage should be given a name. For the start, we use the time of the first route, and for the finish, we use the time of the last chosen route. Click Add to add the route. We can then add further routes. Again, we need to select the project to which we are assigning the route. The route must be named and the start and finish specified. Once done, click Add to add this route. In order for the routes to be shown in the project and on the main map, we must update the entire project. To update the project, click on the name of the selected project under the Administrator tab. Under the Selection tab, click Set this project. This will refresh the project and the routes that have been added will be displayed on the map background. The added routes are entered without speed limits. However, the software also allows the setting of speed limits on Reconnaissance. It is possible to define speed limits in residential areas and outside of residential areas. The system will then only report speed violations. To define speed limits for a chosen route, click on the project that has been created and go to the Routes tab. Click on the magnifying glass icon to go to the details of the route. For Reconnaissance, it is not necessary to enter from when and to when this is valid, because the NCL21 unit only operates according to the project settings. Under the Speed tab, specific speed restriction points are defined by clicking the Add button. Firstly, we state the ID number and name of the speed point. Then drag the drawing pin icon to select the desired location. In our case, the start of the special stage. This will automatically fill in the GPS coordinates of the start point. Drag the drawing pin using the computer mouse and click Ctrl to set the speed limit length and direction. To monitor speed in a chosen section, it is necessary for the following. At least one GPS position from the monitored car is recorded within the designated coordinates of the point. The radius is defined around the coordinate of the point, and the area is defined by the direction and angle. The angle is the maximum deviation that the vehicle is allowed to deviate from either side of the set route. Sections defining higher speeds should have longer radii set accordingly. Sections that are more winding at the start should have a larger angle. If the route has a sharp change of direction shortly after the start of the section, it is advisable to define an additional speed point with the same permitted speed after this change of direction. For better orientation between individual speed limits, open the routes recorded by the record unit and select only the trips for the special stage that we are currently setting. Now click the Replay Selected button. By doing this, the route will be displayed on the map together with the individual speed limit sections. Now the required speed limits and colour, used to display on the map, are filled in. We now add another point. At the left of the map we find the location of the speed limit change and move this location to the secondary map by placing a pin on the map background. Once again, it's necessary to name this point, designate the radius, direction and angle, and then fill in the required speed and designated colour for this. Further points are added in the same way, including the finish point. Now all speed limits are set. If the speed limit is other than 50 or 90 km per hour, it is no problem to use a different speed and colour. To save the speed limits into the project, it is necessary to set the project again by going to the Selection tab and then clicking the Set This Project button. According to the points we've designated, the route will now be displayed on the main map background along with the speed limits. If any mistakes have been made while defining the speed limits, or if a point has been missed, it's possible to add or correct these. Once again, go to the Routes tab in the project, and under Route Details go to the Speed tab. By clicking on the chosen speed limit, we can carry out any subsequent editing. The project is then set again. By doing this, we've successfully finished setting the speed limits for the special stage. During the recce, the software allows you to check that speed limits have been complied with. Now we have speed limits set for each special stage, and during these special stages, the unit records the speeds and the software then checks them according to the set speed limits. This check is performed by clicking on the project and then going to the Speed tab. Here we set the date at the recce, the number of times the speed limit is permitted to be exceeded, and the tolerance within which the speed can be exceeded without being classed as a speed violation. By clicking on the Process button, speed limit violations are evaluated based on the set criteria. A table showing each vehicle that has exceeded the set speed limit will be displayed. Information is given for each vehicle about on which special stage the speed limit was violated. It is also stated in which specific section this happened along with the date and time. Further information shown includes the set speed limit, information about the maximum exceeded speed, and the number of times the speed limit was exceeded. The speed recorded at a specific section can also be displayed on the map. If we only want to check specific special stages or specific vehicles, we can do this by ticking on just the required special stage and vehicles.